Many people don't even know India grows coffee. When they think about India and food or beverage, the first thing that comes to mind is tea and spices. Coffee existed in India even before tea did. I started my company, Kaapi Coffee Works, in 2019. The main idea and focus is to highlight and showcase Indian coffee in all its variety and diversity and beauty. I was working and living in the Bay Area, where there's a lot of great coffee shops and specialty coffee roasters that highlights single origin coffee. I didn't see Indian coffee anywhere. So I'm gonna start my first batch. The green coffee is up here, and it's gonna drop into the drum at the right temperature. When it comes to exports, Indian coffee is kind of grouped into like commercial grade. In some ways, it becomes a little bit more homogeneous or anonymous. It loses its identity. And so I wanted to kind of reverse that process and give it an identity, give it a story, and give people a connection to where that coffee comes from. All my coffees are roasted according to different roast profiles that bring out the original coffee flavor and characteristics of the origin. Current temperature of this is close to 400. You can see some nice browning. So it's very small batch roasting. I get to control different aspects of the roast and check the roast along the way. My desire is to showcase coffee with a good line of traceability. That means, knowing what region of coffee the coffee is grown in, what farm it's grown in, and sometimes even the varietal of coffee. All of these coffees are meant to showcase different aspects of Indian coffee culture, but also connect people directly to the coffee producers, the regions where they're grown, and the history of coffee in India. Coffee has been in my family for many generations. I grew up in Bangalore, India. My family owned a coffee roasting company. And so this is one of the packages that I happen to save. It shows a lot of the details about my family's history. So it says here that it was established in 1941 by my grandfather. It was called India Coffee Works. Then my father took over and worked in the industry and in the business all his life. One of my earliest coffee memories is my dad coming home from the roastery and just smelling of coffee and just sitting on his lap was one of my kind of favorite spots to be. It's, even to this day, it's my happy place. My dad unfortunately passed away, and it was a big shift in my life and what I wanted to do with my life. Hello. Yeah. In this space of discovering what I want to do with my life, I found, in a way, a niche and a calling. Would you like some coffee? All of this coffee is coffee from India, and I roast it locally here in Berkeley. I can brew a pour over if you like. Starting a new business in the world of coffee brought me back to my family, my roots, and my heritage. There are a couple places around town that I often do pop-ups, and that's a great opportunity for me to interface directly with consumers. What can I get started for you?
How about a cup of coffee?
That sounds great. Have you ever had coffee from India? Or?
If I did, it doesn't stand out. When I was in India, I mostly had chai.
Oh, okay. And it always intrigues me when people taste the coffee, their immediate reaction is like, oh, this is actually good.
Delicious.
Either they have no prior experience with Indian coffee and don't know what to expect and are pleasantly surprised, or they've had prior experience with Indian coffee and it hasn't been good, and again, they're pleasantly surprised. Yeah. For me, everything becomes looking through the lens of gender, race, ethnicity, bias, and representation. How have the sales been?
It's really good, actually. People start. I have a lot of repeated customers.
Nice.
And it's a good coffee.
Yeah, that's great. And representing not just, India as a coffee producing country, but also women as coffee professionals, whether it is women farmers, women roasters, women, brewers. There's this all along the supply chain. There is an opportunity for increasing that representation and increasing opportunities. It is my hope that through being a women-owned coffee roasting company, that I can pave the path